I am going to open up your world to the beautiful universe of aromatic cocktails. What the hell is an aromatic cocktail? When making cocktails, they're usually going to fall into the following categories. Sour, that's the most popular. Daisy, outgrowth of the sour. Spritz, highball, those are cocktails that are just built in a glass. Stirred, and boozy is what I've called these for the longest. Aromatic cocktails are going to be stirred and not shaken. They're going to be strong and spirit forward as opposed to fruity or sweet. And they're going to really be for the acquired taste because you're going to taste the alcohol, you're going to have less sweetness, and there's going to be bitter components present always. The cocktail is made of 4 things, and this was defined in 1806. Spirit, sugar, water, bitters. And the cocktail I'm going to show you literally follows that template to a T. The word cocktail is often misdefined or more sauce is kind of put on the word than is necessary. However, this drink was the original cocktail. At one point it was called literally cocktail, whiskey cocktail. And then over time it became called the old-fashioned whiskey cocktail. And as time does, the game of telephone that the universe plays shortened it down to simply the old-fashioned. The old-fashioned is a drink that is heralded, that has a lot of history, and it features one of America's greatest exports, bourbon. It is really simple to make, but it's not easy to make a great one. Here you're going to see what goes into an old-fashioned and why, and you're gonna see what I think is the best way to make a great one. Aromatic cocktails, stirred, not shaken. So we don't need our Boston shaker. We're gonna need our mixing glass. We also have a julep strainer, which if you remember anything about what I told you, don't nobody need this thing for nothing. I love America, but y'all come up with some shit that don't be necessary. So this is going to have 4 ingredients only. You know, for a cocktail to only have 4 parts, let's just say each part is important. We start with a 1/2 ounce of simple syrup. Some people like less, some people like more. We then are going to use one of the most famous and misunderstood cocktail ingredients, bitters. The bitter component of a cocktail is what gives it structure and, in my opinion, what really gives it personality. And you can find bitter in a lot of different ways, but the most popular is from this little beautiful bottle of Angostura. Angostura bitters are famous for their label that doesn't fit the bottle. The story is 2 guys in Trinidad, one got the bottles, one bought the labels. They didn't communicate well, so they ended up with this, and the labels different sizes, and they kept it as an homage to efficiency. I don't even know if that story is the truth. It sounds good, so don't go verify it. Just tell somebody else the story and we'll keep it going. This is a compound of herbs and different aromatics. These are called tincture bitters. There's another kind of bitters that are called potable bitters. Potable is not just how my uncle from down south says portable. She always interrupting me. Ain't nobody ask you. I know you don't like this cocktail, but you ain't got to disrespect me like that, okay? That was Lily. We love her. Potable has to do with the act of drinking. These are macerated in grain alcohol. Let's just call it what it is. Bunch of different herbs. They let them sit in grain and then they strained it off. This is what the Italians call amaro. Plural, amari, are an extremely popular category of bittersweet liqueurs. Almost all of them are made with something called gentian root, and this one in particular is made with artichokes. The recipes to these are always secret. Each brand will tell you a little bit about what they do and don't do, but think of this as this with water added to it. The standard recipe is going to be 2 dashes. I don't know if there's anyone that adds less than 4. I know some people add up to 7, and I don't have a dasher either. Now watch this and I'll show you what I mean. This top, obviously this didn't just spill out and pour out, but this top is not measuring anything. When my bottle is full versus when it's almost empty, different amounts are going to end up in this glass. So consistency here is not key. These should really be in a little bitters dasher. I would say the majority of bars do not have a bitters dasher. The color will kind of help you figure out what's going on. Once it looks a little darker than your bourbon, you're where you need to be. A measure of bourbon, and I am using right now bourbon made by my family. Nelson Brothers in Tennessee make some of the best products you ever want to have. They didn't sponsor this video, but they've supported me in almost everything I've done, and I'm telling them I love them just because. This is also an amazing bottle of bourbon that you're going to find for under $35 that's going to stand up to the usual suspects. This is going to be right next to your Makers, your Basil Hayden, your Knob Creek. We're going to use 2 ounces of the thing I should have opened already. Let me see if I can do this artfully on camera. Did I really just break this goddamn cork? Sorry, Nelson Brothers, y'all ain't gonna never let me represent y'all again, are you? Now that we've got that back together, we're gonna add 2 ounces. So 3 ingredients. Now the most important one, water. And we're going to add ice. It's going to dilute, then we're gonna have water. You know what I mean? I've got regular ice and crushed ice, and they've mixed together a little bit. So that means we're gonna dilute a lot faster. So that means I need to stir a whole lot faster. So I'm gonna get my ice in here, and I'm gonna stir like my life depended on it. And when we stir, we grab our spoon like so, pressure here, hold it with our thumb, and all we're gonna do is wipe on the outside of the glass. You don't wanna do that because that's gonna dilute. So we just bring it on down. Now, my cocktail is as cold as it should be. However, I'm a touch concerned about that dilution. This usually is made right in the glass over a big rock. So since we made it in our mixing glass, we're gonna do something cool and we're gonna serve it down. We're gonna serve this down in a beautiful Glencairn glass. What's a Glencairn glass? You'll find out. The julep strainer is what bartenders that want to be cute use, but it lets ice get through, so we ain't gonna use that. We're gonna use our Hawthorne strainer and go about life in a civilized fashion. There's 2 parts to the garnish of this cocktail. First part is going to be what we call an orange swath. We're gonna take our handy dandy Y peeler. Oh, look at all that beautifulness. Really, when you do this, it should be kind of around your drink, so you get all that goodness. And then we're going to just spritz. You do not need to wipe it around the beverage. You can if you want. And now I'm about to really blow your mind. This is what you call a little bit of business, and this is how you just make things prettier. And to make my cocktail prettier, I done stole my mama's pinking shears. Gonna lace that right there over the top because that is artful. Now comes the part of this cocktail that can hurt feelings. I have some classic bourbon cherries. Now, cherries that go into this cocktail have caused a lot of controversy. The bright red cherries that you see in a lot of cocktails are not the ideal. They're bleached and then fake colors added to them. It's a commercial product. This bourbon cherry is stewed in its own syrup and a lot higher quality. Now, the fact that I'm gonna put a Brown-Forman product into a Constellation product, this might explode, but let's see. And we have what quite possibly might be the first cocktail ever invented and what is now known as the old-fashioned. 4 ingredients, and it really follows the original definition of the cocktail: sugar, spirit, water, and bitters. This is meant to be enjoyed in sips, not gulps, because it's delicious and it can disappear fast. Drink it judiciously, enjoy it responsibly, and it looks just a little bougier than normal. Cheers. Ooh, nice. Beautiful.